There are many locations across the globe where one can observe what seem to be strange distortions to gravity and to visual perception. Many of these locations can be easily explained away simply by optical illusions within the landscape, but there remains a small handful of locations that are more difficult to explain. The focus of this video is on one of such locations in the mountains of my home state of North Carolina, known as Mystery Hill. Buford Stamey and Rhonda Underwood were looking for a location on which to build their restaurant in 1957 when they came across this plot of land owned by William Hudson. Hudson invited the two back in 1958 for a tour of the property. Throughout the tour, Hudson elaborated upon the various inexplicable phenomena that existed throughout the mountainside. It seemed that the gravitational pull on the side of the mountain caused unusual things to happen. Hudson had a cider mill on a small wooden platform operated by identical twins whom he employed. Strangely, whichever twin was standing on the north side always appeared significantly taller than the twin standing on the south side. A second phenomenon involved the apple trees in Hudson's orchard. The trees grew toward the north, directly against prevailing winds. Hudson also pointed out a path through the orchard which was crooked for no apparent reason. He rebuilt the path to make it straight, but to his amazement found himself being pulled onto the old crooked path time and time again. Even the apples, when they fell, would collect on the old crooked path, but not the newer straight one. It was almost as if some force was exerting a sideways pull in certain spots. In 1948, Hudson was reading an article in Life magazine about a strange spot in California which seemed to have similar properties. He and his family visited the California site and spent several days there researching it. Upon their return to North Carolina, they began constructing the mystery house over the spot with the strongest sideways pull. The leading scientific theory attempting to explain the anomalous properties of Mystery Hill relates to the unusually high distribution and concentration of heavy mineral deposits in the area. This theory was corroborated in 1980 when three scientists conducted experiments in the area. It was concluded that a large iron ore deposit and two gold veins run directly beneath the site of the Mystery House. However, no explanation was given with respect to exactly how these heavy metals were able to cause the anomalies observed. The area is known to have large deposits of magnetite, though. Magnetite, being highly magnetic, may also play a significant role in the site's gravitational anomalies. Now, it is also worth mentioning that spruce pine, where more gems are found than anywhere else in the world, is relatively close by. Hiddenite, where the largest garnets and the largest emerald in the world were found, is only about 40 miles east of Mystery Hill. In nearby Crystal Mountain, crystal clusters can be found that are so large that they wouldn't even fit in the back of a pickup truck. There are also many gold mines in the area. Lastly, Brown Mountain, where one can observe the Brown Mountain Lights, is only about 32 miles southwest of Mystery Hill. So as we can see, there are many oddities and strange things occurring within the vicinity of Mystery Hill. Okay, so now that I've covered the history and some of the theories relating to Mystery Hill, I'd like to shift gears and talk about what Michaela and I experienced there. When we got there, I was armed with my tripod and HD camcorder ready and excited to get some great footage of the weirdness for myself. While in the parking lot, I checked out my camcorder to make sure I had a full charge, had enough space on my SD card, and that everything in general was working properly. Everything checked out just fine, so we began our tour. As we got closer to the site of the mystery house, my camcorder started getting glitchy, which it had never done before. When we were right outside the mystery house, my camcorder stopped recording altogether. it was reading an error with the SD card, which was also something it had never previously done. My SD card was completely fried, and I have been unable to retrieve anything that was on it, and the SD card has not worked since. Fortunately, I had my iPhone with me, and we were able to get some footage with that. So, was it a coincidence that the SD card gave up the ghost right there, or was there some force at that spot that fried it? But if there was some force that killed the SD card in my camcorder, why were we able to record with my phone? Was it because my phone was recording to an internal hard drive and not to an SD card? I'm not really sure. But moving on. The concrete slab where people appear to change height is located right outside of the mystery house. There is a level on the slab that I took a close look at after filming this next clip just to see for myself if it was indeed perfectly level, which it absolutely was. So after I show the clip, I will definitively prove that whatever is going on here is more than just a simple optical illusion caused by the landscape. Watch.
Exactly taller than the person you're with, but taller than normal. When you stand over here, you're going to look shorter than you are normal. And the strange thing is that it's a level platform. Not from this level. It's pretty nice.
I'm sure anyway. It's all the
You want me to record
Yeah,
two of you
sure.
up there?
Okay. So this is level.
This is level, yes. Then you're on, you look taller than you normally do. All right, now how about you two switch places? Let's see if we see a difference here. Oh yeah.
Look the same to each other, but
You can see that. Switch again. Let's see it. Let me see it again here. See, that's crazy seeing it on the on this recording.
So which side looks taller?
You're tall. Well,
Yeah,
short.
she looks much shorter over there, and you look much taller. Yeah, switch again,
Yeah, you're tall over there.
and then see here, she's a little bit taller than she was when she was staying on the other end.
But I'm still taller.
But you're still taller than she is. Yeah.
I'm short anyway.
It does make you look taller over there.
I decided to take a low-tech but highly effective approach to illustrate how our heights appeared to change. I printed out 2 screenshots of this clip, one with Michaela at the north end and me at the south, and one with me at the north end and Michaela at the south. Next, I used a pen to cut Michaela and myself out of the pictures. And last, I put the 4 images of us against a white background to have a side-by-side comparison, free of any skewing effects that could be caused by the background. I also did a side-by-side comparison of me standing on the north and south end, and of her standing at the north and south end. Now, I failed to mention that in 1980, the Appalachian State University Physics Department set out to prove that the Planck effect was an optical illusion by erecting a grid that separated observers from 2 volunteers of the same height who were standing on the platform. Strangely, the grid work seemed to amplify the height change effect. And at the end of the day, they left completely befuddled, and no one to date has been able to explain this bizarre visual distortion. Now let's move into the strangest and most fun aspect of Mystery Hill, the Mystery House. Now it should be noted that the Mystery House was built at a slant. This was done to exaggerate the gravitational skewing effect. In the past, many believed the slant to be solely responsible for the effect, and that it too was just an optical illusion. A few years back, another group of scientists set out to prove this theory. They installed leveled tripods with free-hanging pendulums that were measured by gradients to mark the sway. If the to and fro sway of the pendulum was even relative to the leveled tripod, which is what they expected to see, then this would have proven their theory as correct. However, this is not what they observed. Like this swing, the pendulum swayed significantly more toward the back wall than the front wall. This scientifically proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was indeed some inexplicable force which exerted a pull in that direction. I mentioned the California mystery spot earlier, but North Carolina and California are not the only places where these visual distortions and gravitational anomalies exist. On a previous trip to Mystery Hill, our tour guide told us that the USGS has identified at least 17 spots in the US with similar properties. I tried to find documentation confirming this claim, but was unable to do so take it with a grain of salt. However, if you'd like to visit one of these spots for yourself, there are several online sources that list such locations, both in the US and internationally. I'll include links to some of these sources in the description below. Okay, the channel I'd like to feature today is The Vendor 101. Now this is a really interesting channel that focuses on such topics as strange discoveries, hypothetical and scientific theories relating to the past, present, and future, the unexplained, amazing facts relating to space, and many other fascinating topics. Check out one of my favorite videos of his about the future evolution of mankind and how we've already changed. Be sure to subscribe to his channel by clicking here. Also, check out my previous video about the Brown Mountain Lights. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel too. As always, my friends, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.